Hey y'all, welcome back to the club, and it's time for another Discogs Random Review. And if you remember last time, it landed on Ben Folds and WASO at the live in Perth. WASO is the West Australian Symphony Orchestra, and this was the first time that Ben Folds performed with the Symphony Orchestra. Something he's done, much more in recent years. This is where it started, and I know it's a DVD. But hey, that's what the gods chose, and what the gods chose, the gods get. But before we get into it, don't forget, like and subscribe, all that stuff. Hit me up on the Instagram or the TikTok. I'm over there now too. The link will be in the description, all that kind of stuff. But now let's talk about some Ben Folds and WASO live in Perth. Now, here we are. We're on my Discogs page just so you can get, just so you can see the track listing and all the information about it. Came out in 2005. It was right after Rock the Suburbs. So it's all songs from the Ben Folds 5 Days and Rock the Suburbs. And there is some great stuff on here. Some of these versions are some of the best versions in my opinion. I mean, some of them just kill, like The Luckiest. This is a great version with the orchestra. Narcolepsy is fantastic with the orchestra. Stephen's Last Night in Town, great. Some of them, I prefer the more subdued, just Ben Folds by himself. Stuff like Smoke and Evaporated. I prefer those more laid back a little bit. Sometimes it can get a little over, overblown with the full orchestra. But this was around the time, everybody was doing it. Kiss did it, Metallica did it, and I'm sure a bunch of other bands did it. But it really works with Ben Folds, because it's just Ben Folds with his piano and then like an 80-piece orchestra. And it's awesome. I mean, not the same from Rockin' the Suburbs is the only one on here that doesn't contain the orchestra, but it does have the crowd singing the backups, which is really cool. And what I love about Ben Folds is just the stories that he tells. You guys know I love stories, and pretty much not all, but most of these songs are just character studies in people, and that's just something I've always loved. It starts off with Zach and Sarah. Thought I saw something down there, but I didn't. Starts off with Zach and Sarah, and then you got Fred Jones, Stephen. You got Stephen's Last Night in Town. You got Annie Waits, Stan. You got all these songs about just people, and I love that. I've always loved that, and that's one of the reasons why I love Ben Folds so much, because he's a hell of a musician. He's a hell of a pianist, and he's a hell of a songwriter. And I can appreciate it. There's a lot of humor in it, but then there's also a lot of sadness. And this performance, the DVD itself, is just the concert. There's like no special features, no nothing else. It's just the concert. But it's really, really well done. It's shot well, looks good, it's mixed well. Sometimes, especially towards the beginning, it seems like the piano was mixed a little bit lower than it should be. But then I don't know if it's because I got used to it, or if it just, the mix eventually leveled out and you could hear everything just fine. That's really my only complaint about this, as far as as far as the quality. The performance is fantastic. The orchestra nails it. Ben Folds is funny between the songs. It's basically everything you want in a Ben Folds performance. Because, he's outside of Ben Folds 5, he has like a touring band. But then a lot of the times it's just Ben solo. I mean, he even released an album, a live album that was just him and the piano, which is great. Don't get me wrong. He's one of the few artists that I dig just by himself with his instrument. But this is like a whole new dimension, hearing it with this orchestra. There's a lot of cool stuff in there that, was on the record that you normally don't get. And then there's just a lot of added stuff. Let's take a look real quick, because it tells you, I believe it tells you. Does it? Oh yeah, you got the ones who arranged the orchestra right in here, and they did a great job. They did a great job, and I don't know if I mentioned Simon Kenway, the conductor. He did a great job. You know, it's kind of hard to review an orchestra. I'm not used to that because it's, you know, I'm a rock and pop guy, but it's done very, very well. And it's, if you're a fan of Ben Folds, it's definitely worth checking out. If you're curious in Ben Folds, you know, it's, if you can find the DVD, pick it up. I mean, it's not expensive. It's a good watch. But I think if you're just curious about them, it might be better to just go on YouTube, look up a couple clips, because a bunch of this show, hell, the whole show might be on YouTube. I don't know. I haven't checked. But I know there's at least a few of the songs. Go on there, check it out, see if you like it, then pick it up. I mean, it's worth it. But if you're a Ben Folds fan, go ahead and just grab it. I mean, it's a good show. It's only 80 minutes long, so it's a good brisk watch. But yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. So now, let's go and see what the next review is going to be. I'm doing it this way instead of on my phone, because at least this time you can actually see it without me like trying to show you that way. So I just come down here to random item, and let's see what the gods choose. There we go. John Cougar Mellencamp's Scarecrow is going to be the next review. And it's funny, this is one of, when I got back into vinyl, you know, I got the big collection. I got the big instant collection from my brother. But Scarecrow is one of the first albums I went and I bought on eBay. A great condition copy of it, still in the shrink, and I like the album, and I guess that's what we're going to talk about next time. So yeah, don't forget, like, subscribe, all that stuff. Hit me up on Instagram and TikTok, because I'm over there now, because it's legal in America to be there, and I'm over there. So yeah, y'all stay fresh, cheese bags.